River of Life
by Jungle Theatre Company. Welcome. We are going to tell you a story called Umlambo Wobomi,
which means the River of Life.
The story starts with the ocean.
The sun shone hot on the ocean.
This made water rise from the ocean.
Clouds formed, and the wind blew those clouds all the way to the mountains.
Rain started to fall, and tiny streams began to flow down the mountains.
The streams joined each other, getting bigger and bigger and bigger, making the River of Life.
Umlambo Wobomi! Inside the river lived many creatures, plants, insects, frogs, snakes, fish. Next to the river, there was a peaceful village where the Umlambo tribe lived.
This village was ruled by the great King Mamlambo, who was blessed with one daughter, Princess Mamlambo.
Molo tata, said Princess Mamlambo as she came back from her morning swim in the river.
Molo makozazana, bring me my horn, said her father.
King Mamlambo used the horn to call all the people of the village together to hear him speak.
The people of the village gathered and greeted their king.
Metlomakulu, which means, "O great eye." King Mamlambo spoke.
People of Umlambo, our river provides us with water for drinking, cooking and washing. Our river provides us with fish to eat and water for our fruits, vegetables and animals. Our river was looked after by our grandparents and their grandparents before them, and we shall do the same. Umlambo Wobomi is the River of Life. Let the celebration begin.
The people of the village beat drums, danced and sang to celebrate their river. Suddenly, from far away over the mountains, they saw a strange, shiny silver bucky.
The people of the village stopped dancing and watched the bucky as it got closer and closer.
The bucky arrived in the village.
The door opened, and out stepped a man wearing a shiny black suit with a false smile.
He lifted a box from the back of the bucky and spoke to the crowd of the people that had gathered around him.
My 10 special has arrived from the big city. I've got 10 top quality products in 10 topless prices. Wazani, wazani.
Matenten pulled a bag of sweets out of the box and started to sing.
Sweetie treaty makes you happy. Sweetie treaty makes you glad. Gosh, don't be sad. Sweetie treaty will make you glad. Don't cry. Sweetie treaty will make you fly.
The people of the village had never seen sweets before. They were amazed.
Only 10 rand,
called out Matenten.
We have no money, replied the people.
What can you offer me?
asked Matenten.
I'll give you a bag of potatoes, said one of the villagers. I'll give you a bag of potatoes and a bag of bananas, said another. I'll give you a bag of potatoes, a bag of bananas and a chicken, said another.
Good! You will get a sweetie treaty,
exclaimed Matenten. Matenten handed over a bag of sweets.
Then Matenten pulled one product after the other out of his box.
Each product was wrapped up in plastic and came in a plastic bag.
Matenten managed to convince the people of the village to exchange all their animals and vegetables for many useless products.
Matenten then left the village laughing with a bucky load of fresh food.
The people forgot about taking care of the river.
All the plastic was thrown into the river.
The river water became polluted.
The people tried to wash their hands in the river, but their hands just became sticky.
They tried to wash their faces in the river, but their faces just became itchy.
They tried to drink the water from the river, but it tasted really bad and gave them pain in their tummies.
They tried to spear the fish, but the fish were all gone.
Meanwhile, under the water, the river creatures were getting sick.
A snake called out to his leader for help. Tarafa! Siswa! Tarafa! A frog was stuck with litter around his neck. Finally, the king of the river creatures, Tarafa, spoke.
Biani bubu sklum glum sklum glum.
The creatures repeated their leader's words. Biambi boo sklum 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 sklum.
The kingfish decided to teach the people a lesson.
So the creatures drank up all the water in the river.
The next morning, 2 people from the village discovered the empty river.
They ran over to report what they had seen to their king.
Au,
Zanamvula, Methamakulu. There is no water in our river.
We are thirsty.
Our plants and our animals are dying.
Please tell us what to do.
The king was deep in thought for a moment, and then he spoke.
My people, we need to do things the way our great-great-grandparents used to do. We must go and seek advice from our Sangoma.
My king, you know our Sangoma left the village when Matenten arrived, said the people.
Yes, that is true. Now we need our Sangoma to come back to help us, said their king.
My king, it's those river creatures that give us all these problems, said one of the people.
We must kill them, shouted another. Killing the river creatures won't help us, said the king. But the people started chanting.
Kill the river creatures! The angry crowd kept on chanting and moved down towards the dry riverbed.
Just then, the princess stood in their path and called out.
No! Stop! We cannot kill the river creatures. We need the frogs to eat the flies and mosquitoes. We need the snakes to eat the rats. We need the fish for our food.
What are we going to do? Cried the people.
I will go and find the Sangoma, said the princess.
Not you, my daughter, replied the king.
Tata, now is the time. I am old enough to help my village, said the princess. The king took a moment to think before he spoke.
I always knew that this time would come for you to prove yourself to Umlambo.
The king took a beautiful necklace of shells from around his neck and spoke to his princess Mamlambo.
I received this necklace from my great-great-grandfather to protect me. Today, I'm giving it to you to protect you on your journey. If your mother was still with us, she would be very proud of you. Go well, Mamlambo, Kakaza.
The villagers watched in silence as Princess Mamlambo hung the necklace around her neck and prepared herself for the journey in search for their Sangoma.
As Princess Mamlambo left the village, the people wished her well with this song about how their Sangoma can live underwater.
Hey manzini manzini sangoma silale manzini kwazulu sangoma sila.
Hey manzini manzini sangoma silale manzini kwazulu
sangoma sila.
Hey manzini manzini sangoma silale manzini kwazulu
sangoma sila.
Hey manzini manzini sangoma silale manzini kwazulu
sangoma sila.
Princess Mamlambo knew that she would need to walk far into the mountains to find the cave where their Sangoma would be living.
As she walked along the dry riverbed, the sun beat down on her, and a powerful wind blew sand up into her face and eyes.
She grabbed hold of her necklace.
It helped to keep her going.
In the thick forest on the foothills of the mountain, the princess heard scary sounds of wild animals, but she held the necklace and was brave enough to keep walking.
Climbing the mountain, she nearly slipped and fell, but focused on her father's words and the necklace. Finally, she reached the top of the mountain and entered the Sangoma's cave.
Mamlambo! Mamlambo, sit down, said Sangoma. Makosi, replied Princess as she respectfully clapped her hands and found a place to sit in the cave. Vumani, said Sangoma as she held her bag of bones towards Princess. Siyavuma, replied Princess and blew into the bones. Sangoma threw the bones onto the floor of the cave and spoke. You have been chosen to help your Omlambo tribe. From your great-grandfather, you got the gift to talk to the river creatures. Because of your clan, Gumlambo. Makosi, what will I say to the creatures of the river? The answers are in your heart, replied Sangoma. Makosi, said Princess as she clapped her hands in gratitude.
They danced together and sang the song that the people of the village had sung before. Once they had danced for a while, the Sangoma turned to Princess and called out,
Hamba! Mamlambo journeyed back to the village filled with hope.
She was ready to speak with the river creatures.
She arrived in the dry riverbed and came across river creatures who were puffed up from drinking all the water. The kingfish spoke.
Hania baskitu bulo.
Hania baskita balom? Repeated the princess, confused.
Hania baskitu bulo, repeated the kingfish, and showed her the action of picking up litter.
Ah, ani baskita balom. Princess realized what the kingfish was saying.
Aksa sploblo, said the kingfish.
Ah, sploblo, exclaimed the princess.
The princess ran over to her father the king to pass on the message.
They embraced and the princess brought her father the horn. All the people of the village were very thirsty, but they gathered slowly around the king when they heard the horn.
My people, our Princess Mamlambo has come back with a message from the Sangoma and the river creatures. We must go to the empty riverbed and perform a cleansing ritual. Let Mamlambo lead the rituals.
The princess started a song and the people joined in as they followed her down to the riverbed.
Once they had reached the riverbed, the princess spoke to her people.
I have a message from the water creatures. We can get our river back. But first, we must take care of the river and all its creatures. We must stop polluting the river. We must pick up all the litter in and around the river.
All the people of the village followed their princess as they picked up all the litter in and around the river.
Once they were done, the princess showed the kingfish their work.
Baltia, ubulongi, the kingfish called out.
The princess translated the kingfish's words. The kingfish says, we have all done well. Balingi, sploblo? The princess asked the kingfish.
Baliki, sploblo, he replied.
It was then that the river creatures released the water that they had sucked up from the river.
It poured from their mouths and filled up the river.
Clouds gathered far away on the mountains and rain began to fall.
The river grew and grew until it was full like before.
All the villagers drank deeply from the river. Some jumped in and swam with the river creatures.
Just then, the Sangoma arrived back in the village and spoke to her king.
My king!
Sangoma, the king replied.
Mamlambo has been very brave.
You have guided her well. It is time you return to your people.
I will be glad to come home.
Mamlambo, bring me my horn, asked the king, who blew the horn to gather his people. My people, let us welcome our Sangoma back into the village. She has helped us bring back our beautiful river. Umlambo Wobomi, thank you for giving us life again. Let's dance, sing, and celebrate Umlambo Wobomi.
The people played drums, danced, and sang.
That day onwards, Princess Mamlambo became a mermaid.
Every night, she would swim under the water and speak with the river creatures.
Every day, she would share her stories from the river with her people.
The river, the creatures, and the people all lived together happily ever after.
The end.